Thank you. Thank you. It's incredible. We're here. We made it. It's been a great first day of education, I have to say. Thank you to all of our speakers who have been up on the stage so far. You have really done an extraordinary job. I hope that all of you taking in this message have appreciated what you've received, found those golden nuggets. It's just an honor to be here and share the stage with our educators. You know, it's this collective experience that we all get to create and share in together. It's really quite incredible, don't you think, when we can let down our guards, put aside our judgments, and just be open to what can happen. Be open to what can happen and just see and take in experiences. When we're open, when we find that place where we release our judgments that we hold, the things we make up in our head, when we calm down our own little internal voices, it's amazing what we experience, how our emotional body shifts, how our physical body shifts and changes, how we actually feel. It's just this overwhelming place that we really get to be at. What's incredible about that is we control it. We control how we take in our experiences through how we choose to feel, how we choose to believe in ourselves, how we choose to present ourselves. You know, there are so many things that go into an experience that are just outside of our control. We can't control many of the things, but we can control how we feel, how we think, how we behave, and how we let things in. You know, there are many good songs about it, about the things that we can't control, but there are a few that really matter. That's what I want to spend our time on. That's what I want to spend our time on this afternoon, because that's what goes into creating this belief of who we are. You know, how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. These points can shift you from one extreme to a whole different one. From really taking in an experience like something is horrible or not that exciting, to taking in the same exact experience, but seeing it from a whole different perspective. You control that perspective. A lot of how you control that perspective and how I want to spend our time, this last hour of our education today on, is becoming the person you believe you are. I think it's such an important topic. You know, I played with what I was going to come up here and talk about. I had a whole different presentation 2 years ago. And over the last couple of weeks, this has really come to me of what I want to share today. And it's come for many different reasons that I'll get into and touch on over this next hour. But it's come because I think that power that we have in how we talk to ourselves, how we truly believe in ourselves. Not just the surface stuff that we say that we think we can skate by on, but what we believe in our core, and then how we share it, and how we express it, and how we show up. How we show up and just don't be scared. Don't have fear, don't have this self-doubt or this worry about what so-and-so is going to think about us trying to do this or trying to be this person. We don't have that doubt or that worry because we know who we are, and we're not holding back on expressing it because we know what we have to express. We're expressing as good. We're expressing because we're a great person and we have great gifts and talents to share that need to be shared and that need to be seen. So, becoming the person you believe you are. And I mean, and I hope you truly believe like I do, that you are the amazing person with abilities and capabilities to create your fantasy life, your dream life now. It's not waiting for the next thing to happen or the next thing to happen or just, next year is going to be better. No, it's taking the opportunity now. Even after this last year that we went to, even in that last year, I hope a couple of you found that opportunity to say, you know what, I got this. I really, truly got this. And if you didn't, I hope you had the time to rest and recover and rejuvenate and find some extra time for some new self-care activities to get there, to get to that spirit and that level where, do you know what? Enough of this. Enough of always being worried or doubting myself or not trusting that gut voice I hear and letting those crazy voices in my mind take over that tell me, no, so-and-so is going to think this about me. I don't want to do it. Or I'm shaking a little bit. I don't want people to see me shaking. Get over that. Don't worry about it. Claim who you are. Because here's one thing that I think probably most people do know about me, and I think a lot of people do this as well. I like to see the good in people. I see the great in people, actually. I see the great in most people that I interact with. There are very few that I don't. But sometimes what happens, and again, I think a lot of us in this room probably are like me on this one too. We forget to see that good and that great that lies within each of us. We discount it for whatever reason. We can give everyone else these accolades and these congratulations and look up to them like, wow, they're amazing. But we forget we're capable of this too. And we are quite amazing ourselves. We need to give ourselves that credit. And that's why it's this topic of become the person you believe you are and then act on it. And act on it boldly like what David started us out with this morning. Be bold. And it's not about arrogance. It's about claiming who you are. It's about living your life to the fullest. It's about taking in experiences to the fullest. Everything that you have to offer. When David and I started this event 4 or 5 years ago, we called it a symposium. We're like, it's a conference, but we're not going to call it a conference. We're going to call it a symposium. But we realized it was so much more than that after the first one. We realized that it truly was an experience. And it wasn't just from David coming up on the stage or speaking, or from yoga in the morning, or from the speakers. It was the collective of what happened when people decided to come together and just be real and show up and play who they were and not be scared of claiming who they were. The biggest trick, though, is you do that in this room. Now go and do it outside this room and go and do more of it. It is my intention and my hope that you take away from this experience a great realization of the power that you have to create your realities. To create your realities to be in line with all of your fantasies, all of your dreams, all of your hopes, all of your desires. Because every single thing that you dream of, that you hope for, every fantasy vision that you have, do you realize? It's real, and it's inside of you. The song we've been playing, I'm Here, we've been playing it for a reason. Because you are here. You are here, and so that means every single thing that you dream of, you hope for, you wish for, you want, it's here in this room. And that's why this is an experience, because this is our chance to have this collective experience where we unleash everything and we drop those fears, those doubts, those I'll do it next year ideas, or I'm not ready for it yet, or, now's just not the time, not in the right place. Well, you can choose, because it is free will, and I'll say that again later on. There's free will, you get a choice. You choose to either revolve or you choose to evolve. Remember that. You choose. Either choose to revolve and continue to experience the same things over and over and over again, or you evolve, grow, and you start experiencing new things. The things you love, yes, continue to experience those. But the things that you don't love, those mistakes that might have been made, don't harp on them, learn from them, and grow from them. so that you don't make those same things that you don't like and those same experiences you don't like, that you don't have to have them occur over and over again. That's what I mean by evolve versus revolve. Everything you want is inside you, just waiting to be released. You know, we hear it. You just have to go search for your passion. You just have to go find it. It's out there. No, it's not. It's within you. Your passion is within you. And so part of that comes down to really, fully, just being 100% truthful and honest with yourself and claiming it. That means getting quiet. That means getting quiet up here in the mind sometimes and really listening to wherever that gut voice is, wherever that instinct voice you have. Some people say it's a gut voice, it's a heart voice. Wherever it comes from in your body, you know where it comes from. You know where that good voice comes from. The one that tells you to go after something. The one that tells you to do something. Your instinctual voice. The one that we don't always follow. And when you don't follow it, sometimes you get hit upside the head with a 2x4. Stop getting hit upside the head with that 2x4. It's not fun. What you need to do, you have to have the courage. You have to have the courage to claim your passions, to claim what they are, and to shine out, and to play, and to live 100% fully you. Because guess what? As I said before, it all resides in you. And so if you're here, and I see each and every single one of you, yes, I see you. We all see you. So you're here. So your dreams, your wishes, your hopes, your desires, everything that you want to create, everything that you want to build is right here in this room. So let's let it all out and let's shine together and let's grow together. Let's be a community that we uplift each other to get there. Let's all become that bold person. Let's become that person we truly know that we are, that we believe in. So I'm going to take the opportunity now, and I'm going to invite you, if you want, because again, free will. I love this thing about free will and choices. It's your choice. You can grow, and you can evolve with all of us. Or experience the same thing over and over and revolve. We'll still love you. We'll still be here for you. But it's your choice. So you can do great things, create great things, experience great things. But you have to do some work. You have to claim what you want. You have to claim what you want. Write it down, what it is that you want. You have to choose who you want to be. You have to choose who you want to be. Don't let it be circumstance chooses for you. I guess you can let that happen. Again, free will. But you should take this opportunity to choose who you want to be. Don't let it be forced upon you. So I'm going to invite you, be bold if you choose. Be bold. And my very first question for you to write down is, who do you believe you are? So whatever you have in front of you, write down the question first. Who do you believe you are? My favorite part of this for everyone is, you can start writing as I keep talking here. My favorite part about this for everyone is just this. This is your chance without fear, without judgment, without any self-doubt. No one else has to look at this paper if you don't want to. So be 100% truthful with yourself and honest and just release who you believe you are and claim it. Be bold. Don't listen to those voices of doubt or fear in your head. Be bold and claim. You too. Write it down. You in the mask there. Write it down. Who do you believe you are? Thank you. You know, in my mentorship group here over the last 6 months or so, we've done a lot of work around this of who do you believe you are. You can write down a dissertation. You absolutely can, and that's totally fine. You can write down a dissertation, a narrative of who you believe you are. Or the one thing that we found that I learned a long time ago in one of my master coaching classes, create these simple, short, concise I am statements. I can do a whole coaching session on I am statements, but for today, I want to just give you a quick Cliff Notes version that I think is really, really important and valuable, and we can run with. So think of an I am statement as a short, concise statement where you can write as many of them as you want, but they're impactful. They're easy to digest. They're short. You can say them to yourself and others so quickly, and you believe in them fully. And they're very powerful when you say them to yourself, when you can use them as a tool and just look at yourself in the mirror and claim them. I am worthy. I am proud. I am resourceful. I am smart. I am love. I am kindness. I am capable. So you can take a dissertation or a narrative that you might write out, and then you can break it down into these little short I am statements that then you can use as a tool. When you're not feeling so great, when you're just having that off day or that rough day, that you can come back to this and come back to your center about who you are, who you believe you are. These I am statements reflect back with who you believe you are. How do you show up in the world? They're easy, they're digestible, and you can live them. You can embody them into your daily experiences as one more way, one more step of how do you step forward. You know, create your grouping. You know, however many that might be. It might be 5, it might be 3, it could be 10. But create the core grouping of who you believe you are. I am, ... So this is my first point that I was talking about. When you define who you are, when you define it, you claim it and you control it. Control of your life that we don't always have, you control it. You control this aspect of your life of who you are. No circumstances, no one else, nothing that's happened to you can define it. You do. You have 100% control for how you present yourself, for who you believe you are. You have 100% control for who you believe you are, and then who you are for how you show up. So own that 100% control. Don't give it out. Don't give it out, because that 100% control impacts how you take in every single experience. So no, as I said earlier, no, no, no. Life is not, it is what it is, or you just have to deal with what you've been given. You have to deal with your circumstances. No, you don't. You can change your circumstances. You control that. It takes work. It does take work. It takes rising up. It takes standing up. It takes standing out, and it takes you claiming and being the person that you believe you are. So, you know I was going to ask this at some point. I always do. I'm very curious. And before we move on any further, I would love to ask, do we have a couple people who would love to share and bravely claim, who do you believe you are? To share either an I am statement or 2 or 3, or just a line or 2 or 3 about who you believe you are. Kimberly. Here, Gigi's coming over to you.
Wait, who raised their hand?
Kimberly.
I am a strong-willed person, works hard, excels, proud of herself, and I am enough, and I wear the ring to prove it.
Absolutely. Yes, you are, Kimberly. Yes, you are. And remember that every day. And remember that on those days that aren't so easy, to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, to have that list. And when you're not having that good day, sometimes you do, we all do. Sometimes we just want to be in a funk. Try not to stay in there too long. And when you can acknowledge that you've maybe been in that funky place too long, that's when you pull out a list like this and you look at yourself in the mirror and you pull yourself back up. That's when you say, all right, I've been on all fours long enough. Time to come out. It's time to shake this off because I got this. Because I do know who I am. And I'm going to remind myself. So congratulations. Who else?
First of all, I am Bakara, and I am capable, I am creative, I am anointed, and I am equipped to do what I was created to do.
Amen. Absolutely you are. Absolutely you are. Right here in front.
I'm a loving, creative soul with so much to offer the world, confident, well-rounded woman that has so much magic at my fingertips, capable of mostly any task thrown at me.
Absolutely you are. And remember that. That's the power. Remember that. Because there are days where you might not feel that way. And that's okay. It's okay, and we'll get into that too here in a little bit. To acknowledge those times when you're not there at your 100%. But you write this down now and you come back to it when you're not there. Because you are. You are all of that and more. And own it and feel it every single day.
I am a dynamic, extremely creative and resourceful woman who loves people and thrives on positive experiences and relationships.
Yes, you are, Pat. Yes, you are. And continue to own it. Own who you are and share who you are. Continue to cultivate. That's what I talked about this morning in yoga with everyone. Continue to cultivate this unconditional love for yourself. Before you can share out unconditional love, it really does need to start with yourself. I mean, think about it for relationships you've been in. If you're a parent with your children or a grandparent with grandchildren, you have unconditional love for them. You know, they could pretty much do anything. You'll get mad, but at the end of the day, you absolutely love them through every single thing they'll do. That same love that you give out, that needs to come to you first, though. So when you do mess up, when something doesn't go quite right, it's okay. You'll get through it because you believe who you are, you know who you are, and you love who you are. We love who we are. Love who you are. As you did this, I hope as you wrote these words out on your paper, whether you did a dissertation, a couple lines, or I am statements, that you really look at this and you claim for once, strongly for once, and even more strongly if you think that you have claimed this strongly in the past, who you believe you are. You know, David and I talk about this often, and we share it a lot with Cielo. There is no such thing as perfect. There is no such thing as perfect, but we can always do better. We can always work towards doing better. And I think that's it, that if we challenge ourselves on an ongoing basis to keep growing, to keep expanding on what our best is, that's what it's all about. That's when we'll start finding and feeling this magic. That's when we continue to have this growth in what we are capable of. Because we keep expanding, we keep growing. We keep expanding and we keep growing. And we keep on seeing, I got through this. Oh my gosh, I accomplished this. I did this. I was able to create this team that did this. And you see that your capabilities, they truly, truly are endless. Because whatever you think of, it really is that simple. It is this simple. Whatever you can think of, you can create. You are capable. So the question then becomes, what do you want to be capable of? And then what are you going to do to support that capability? And what are you going to do to support that belief in who you are? Because now we get into some of the work stuff. Because you see, even your biggest dream life, the biggest fantasy life, there's work to be done. There's always work to be done. That whole cycle, you know? You want something big, you have to do the work for it. You have to have some kind of output to create that dream. So if you want big, well, you're going to have to give big. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it can be an overwhelming thing, it can be a scary thing, but it's not a bad thing. It is just a simple law of attraction, rules of energy, the cycle of giving and receiving. You know, if you want big, you have to do the work and you have to stay clear of what that big is that you want. And you have to avoid the pitfalls. You have to avoid the pitfalls of, well, I want to create all this big stuff, so what are all my big tasks? What's my next step to do? What do I have to do right here? You have to avoid some of the overthinking. You have to get very clear. You have to get committed. You have to get focused on what it is you want. And then how you get there isn't through the overthinking. That will just get you stuck from starting. It's by showing up and starting to do the work. One step at a time, one foot in front of the other, one task after the next. You do the work, you create the big by showing up and by giving all of yourself, by believing fully in yourself and not having that self-doubt to hold back on your ideas or to hold back on, I'd love to call Linda and ask her thoughts on this idea, but I'm worried she's going to think it's stupid. Not having that worry, but being bold enough to pick up the phone and being okay to call Linda and say, Linda, here's my idea. And if Linda says, Joey, you're crazy, that idea is horrible, take that feedback and then decide, okay, is this the stop point? Is it really a horrible idea? Or why did she think it was horrible? Did I present it incorrectly, maybe? And can I come back and re-present it a different way? Or did Linda just save me a whole lot of heartache and save me from myself? And that's okay that she just told me that that was a horrible idea. It's being able to show up and to reach out when you need to reach out and not have that doubt about when you reach out or when to reach out. Not having that worry of, is this a silly question to ask somebody else? Or, they're going to think that I should have already known this. Don't have those worries. Realize that, David shared this in Bermuda. It's in every single attendee's book from Bermuda of surround yourself with people who you believe you are great because you are. I want to elaborate on that in a little bit here. But surround yourself with people who believe you are great because you are. When you do that, you know you're supported too. You know you have people that are your trusted advisors that, yeah, they might give you some tough love every now and then, but be open to accepting tough love too. Be open, be coachable. Be open, be coachable. Always try to be there. Be in this space of it's okay to take in feedback. But when you take in feedback, also understand. You get the chance to pause. Take it in, listen to it, and you get a pause and see, does that work for you or does it not? And that's your choice. And that's a great choice to have. Deep down, every single one of you, every single one of us, we know exactly what we're capable of. There have been these glimpses, these moments. We've had these amazing days, these amazing runs where we get this glimpse of our big full potential. Everything that we know we're capable of. We've had these glimpses. We've had these moments when we've been brave and shined 100%. So we've seen it. You've seen it. And there's always more to cultivate and grow on that, but you've seen it. You know the power lies within you to do it. You have all the intuitive wisdom. Those little voices that I've talked about, and we'll still talk about a little bit more, or those loud voices and thoughts that we don't always trust, you have the wisdom. You have the undeniable strength because you're here. You get up every day. You do the work. You made it here. You have the undeniable strength to be used. And you have an abundance of energy that's just waiting to be called upon and used in an instant. All you have to do is just call upon it and use it. So again, I'm going to invite you to just look inside. Look inside yourself. Who do you believe you are? I keep saying that for a reason, because I want you to really take it in. Take in that belief. Have that positive talk with yourself about who you really believe you are. And as you do that, think about this next piece. Do you know that you are absolutely capable of creating anything you put your mind on? Do you know that and do you believe that? You know that and do you believe that? I hope you do. Because just look around. Look around at this crazy world we live in. It's a wonderful world we live in. It is crazy sometimes. But look around. Look around at all that has been created. That all that has been created for us to enjoy, for us to be able to thrive, for us to be able to grow, for us to be able to experience. It was all created somewhere. It was all created from someone. It's all been created through thoughts, inspirations, through desires. But most importantly, it was all created through this courage and this belief that it was possible. This courage and belief that we all have within us and that we can all continue to cultivate. You know, I know that for David and I, another one of our favorite things that has happened that we've been able to see is this courage grow. This courage grow, especially in our planners community, of stepping up and being a little bolder and looking at their contracts and realizing, do you know what? I have not been charging enough. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic. I have not been charging enough for my services. It's time to believe in myself a little bit more and to change that number on there and go higher. And do you know what? We heard numerous success stories from people that went higher in July, August, September, October, November, December, and raised their prices, and they still got the contract. They still landed the client. And they landed and they were inspired so much more because you start believing more in yourself. They started to believe more in themselves. They started to believe that anything is possible. It's one of my favorite lyrics in one of my songs I love. Anything is possible. Because anything is possible when you believe in yourself and when you see that you are capable of creating anything. So, let's come back to your pad of paper. I'm going to ask you and invite you, it's up to you, what are you capable of creating? And what do you desire creating? What do you desire creating? Because this is why I want to ask you. I want to invite you to think about the end of this year, the end of 2021. So you're in January of 2022. And you get to now look back at what was the year 2021. What do you want to look back and see that you accomplished, that you experienced, that you created? You know, we can do vision statements looking out forward for this is what I'm going to do. But I want you to now go all the way into 2022 and say, I'm going to look back at the year. What do I want to look back at the year that was 2021 and that I created, that I can be proud of? So I invite you to be bold. Be bold. There is a theme here. Don't judge. Don't have that doubting mindset. Don't have that mindset to play small for whatever reason, whatever those little voices in your head might tell you that you can't do it, or you're being arrogant by saying you want to do that. Don't listen to those voices, because this isn't about arrogance. This is about being true to yourself, being bold, being authentically you. Listen to your gut voice. Listen to your dream voice. Listen to that happy little kid voice that you have in your head that tells you can create anything. Listen to that voice and claim, what do you want to create? What do you desire creating? How does this year play out for you? And now it's that time again. Who wants to play? Who wants to share?
I would like to create meaningful relationships, a supportive community, and one-of-a-kind designs.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's what it's about. Put it down, and now you take the action steps to get there. It doesn't have to be this overwhelming task. Put it down, and then do the work and get there. Know what you want, and don't be afraid to go and get it. Who else would like to share? Luba.
Okay, thank you. This is my long-time dream, which was delayed, but hopefully I'm getting closer to it. So I believe I want very much, and I'm capable of creating a fantastic destination wedding experience in Italy, offering a few extraordinary days full of joy, beauty, happiness, surprises, to create life-lasting memories and friendship for all attendees. This is my dream.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. Now you go and you do it. Yes, thank you. Claim it. When you write these things, just like what Luba did right now. Yes, I will. Own it. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with owning it and claiming what you want and being proud of it. Yes, I will. That's not arrogance when you're out to create something beautiful. That's passion. And this is a passionate industry. It is okay to show your passion. It's okay to show your true personality. Whatever you might think, if you have weird quirks or personality traits or whatever, let it shine. Be you. Be authentically you. And you will realize you will win and you will fly more times than not. And when you do fall, you'll get back up. Because just be you. One more share.
I want to take my failures and make success from them. I want to prioritize and center myself, and I want to transform my passions into powerful visual statements.
I love that. I love that. And think about that, especially that first line. When you fail, when we all fail, I'll hit on this too still. So thank you for setting me up. Fail forward. We learn from our failures if we want to. We absolutely do. You know, I'll get off script here for a little bit. From our failures, they give us the greatest opportunities. If we just take that ego shield down and we just accept and try to dissect what happened there, we find the most amazing lessons. We actually find some different passions probably because we start figuring out what happened here. It's truly, truly, truly remarkable. You know, I left the commercial real estate industry and franchising about 10 years ago through a failure. It was the best failure ever. Ran out of money, wound up going bankrupt, lost my houses that I had, lost it all, but it was the greatest failure ever because it created the best mind shift for me, for myself, ever. It allowed me to recognize what mattered and what didn't. It allowed me to recognize that what I was going after and trying to create, at the end of the day, it really didn't matter that much to me. It really didn't matter that much to me. But what it did, it connected me with this passion. It connected me with this passion of coaching. It connected me extremely well with health and wellness and with my yoga practice and everything else that I absolutely love. It connected me with a whole new side of myself. A whole new side of myself to realize the person that I wanted to become. Through failure. So never ever shy away from failure. If you fail forward. Fail forward. It's okay. You will get back up. I mean, I was thinking about that actually earlier because I was walking through the corridor and I heard a Tina Turner song, and David and I watched her movie a couple weeks ago. Think about that. This lady failed. She left everything behind. Left absolutely everything behind, and all she kept was her name. But from that, she rose back up again, so amazingly and so beautifully. You can do it. We all can do it. Don't be scared of starting over. Don't be scared of yourself. Believe in yourself. That's the thing. That's the thing. Believe in yourself. If you think it, you can do it. You can figure out how to do it. You can figure out the teams of people you need to bring in to help you do it. If you can think it, you can figure out how to support it. You can do it. It just comes down to remembering, again, another simple law of life. You want something, you truly want something, you have to work for it. Don't be scared of working for it. We work so hard on all these client events. You work tireless hours, endless hours on these events, especially on event day. When you're thinking about going bigger in your business, you have the energy and you have the capabilities. Put it in there. Commit to yourself to control the parts of life that you can. Because again, there are so few that you can, but the ones you can are so impactful. And then take unstoppable action. Take unstoppable action. And be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. There's all this stuff about you can only think positive. David sometimes thinks I only wear my rosy colored glasses, which I do. I love my rosy colored glasses. But I acknowledge when fear comes up. I acknowledge when self-doubt comes up. And it comes up. It comes up a lot. But one thing that I've worked on really hard to cultivate for myself, and sometimes I fail at it, but one thing I've worked really hard to try to cultivate for myself is being able to talk myself through it and calm down and clear out that clutter. To repurpose when those fears and those self-doubts come up, to repurpose them as inspiration. Inspiration to get through it, to see beyond it. Inspiration to say that if I get to the other side of this, that is going to be amazing. And you know what? I am going to get to the other side of this. One way or another, I'll find the other side of this because I'm going to commit to myself to do it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the fears. I'm going to use the doubts. I'm going to use the judgments even that I make up from other people in my head. I'm going to use those as my tools, though. I use them to help me with any blinders that I might have on. So if I see my mission as this way, and then the doubts and the fears and all that are coming up on the side of me, I'm going to use that to see past, widen these blinders, to see each side. So please, 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 I implore of you, don't let fear, don't let doubt, don't let those little voices of judgment in your head stop you. Don't let them hold you back from shining your greatness. One of the greatest skills I think we must master, and this is my journey right now that I'm sharing with you, is this ability to examine our mind. Examine our mind and become aware of the thoughts that come up. Become aware of the thought patterns that come up. Becoming aware of the thought patterns that we have and the regular thought patterns we have, it's probably more important than thinking positively. I think so, at least. Acknowledging that, you know what? You are going to have judgments that come up. You're going to have some negative thoughts that come up. It will happen. It's okay. You don't always have to think positively. But when those judgments, when those negative thoughts come up, acknowledge them, identify them, and determine what they are. Determine, are those made-up voices and made-up thoughts because you're worrying about what someone else is going to think? Do those thoughts, do those judgments, do they help you process anything? Or are you just wasting your time on something that you just need to let go and move past? Acknowledge them. Acknowledge them when they come up to stop the racing mind and to stop them all from floating in all these different ways. Because I don't think it works to say that, well, just don't be a judgmental person. Because we all are unique individuals, so we all have opinions. We all have thoughts, and we all should have opinions and thoughts. It's just how you use them and how do you harness them best to support your growth. It's through becoming aware. Through becoming aware so that you can go, hey, hold on, mind. You're going a little crazy. You're judging a little bit too much, or you're overthinking, or you're getting a little carried away. Having that mental, hey, hold on, that you can do to yourself when your mind starts to race, to use that, hey, hold on. Because you're telling yourself, hey, hold on. Use that as your reset. Use that as your reset to come back, slow your process, and figure out where you were going. And then you become aware of, do I have these same racing thought patterns that come up over this one issue, or this one topic, or when I try to do this one thing? And you start to become aware of when these thought processes start exposing themselves over and over again. You also become aware of those different voices and thoughts in your head, of how they help you grow, because they are able to stop you and you're able to see something else, or how they hinder you, because they put you into that place of self-doubt and fear that you never take that first step, that you just wait on hitting that post button, or you wait on hitting send on that email with that proposal, or you just avoid this scary email altogether. And it creates more of that procrastination. So think about that. The mind and our mindset really is such a big key. Such a big key, because when we think about, who do we talk to the most in life? Who's the one person you talk to the most? Yourself. Thank you. You talk to yourself the most. So what are you saying to yourself? What is it that you say to yourself the most? Are the things you say to yourself the most, are they supporting your growth? Are you the person that's actually holding yourself back the most? Are you the person that's holding yourself back from really experiencing life and all its beauty the most? Because this is it. Our minds and the processes of our minds, they can either elevate us up or they can pull us down. And it's so very real. And it's not a happy fact. This isn't a happy fact that I'm going to share, but it's a very real one. It's very real in that we may experience it ourselves. We may have an employee that experiences it, family member, employee, or client. Today, the majority of us do struggle. We have struggles. We struggle with overthinking, with procrastination, and anxiety as a result of indulging the monkey mind and its voices. And yes, for some of you, you probably just threw out there a new term. And I love it because it's such a great visualization. So just visualize it. The monkey mind. It's this little monkey up there that's swinging around from vine to vine. Monkey mind was a term that I learned about 10 years ago during that failure stage of mine. I learned it from one of my mentors at the time, who was a master life coach in one of the programs that I was in. Monkey mind is when we allow our mind to start jumping around. We allow it to aimlessly switch from thought to challenge. Monkey mind is what drives us a bit crazy. because we let that monkey just go. And it's going from one thought to the next thought, to the next thought, to the next challenge, to the next challenge, staying at this surface level, never solving anything, just creating more confusion. More confusion, which ultimately, when we leave it unchecked, that's what leads to our anxiety. That's what leads to anxiety in people, is that confusion, that self-doubt, that fear, everything that pulls us away from who we believe we are. It happens from that monkey mind being just let loose. And let's just get real for a second. Get very real. Anxiety, it sucks. It sucks. And it can be harmful and it can be scary. And if you let it get out of control, it just takes you down a bad path where you're no longer fully believing about yourself. You're no longer creating. You're getting into that woe is me place and all of that. So here's your challenge. Here's your challenge. Let's tame the monkey mind. Let's tame the monkey mind and find more of a balanced mind. Because the monkey mind, and you can notice that you're in it when you start complaining more, when you start criticizing more, when you start comparing more. The balanced mind on the other side of it, it's going to have more compassion, more care, more look for collaboration. The monkey mind, it gets overwhelmed. It gets overwhelmed by all those surface issues and surrounding things. Again, never getting to the point. The balanced mind, instead of getting all scurried around and going in every different direction, the balanced mind, it gets focused on the root cause of the issue at hand. Which is, again, why the monkey mind, it's going to change. It's going to go from whim to whim. It will go from this direction over to that direction. The balanced mind, it's going to commit. It's going to commit to a vision, a mission, a goal. It has that clarity. The monkey mind, it's going to amplify the negativity. Negative thoughts, they're going to happen, and that's okay. But that monkey mind, it just amplifies the negativity, the fears, it's doomsday. The balanced mind, when you get that fear, when you get that self-doubt, when you have a negative thought, the balanced mind is the one that starts to break that thought down, to find the reality behind it. It's the balanced mind that lifts us out of confusion, that lifts us out of distraction, and that helps us find that clarity, that meaning, that direction. So control your mindset, understand your thoughts, and don't go down the rabbit holes. Don't go down the rabbit holes of judgment, both your own judgment and especially the judgment that you make up for other people in your own mind. Isn't that a tongue twister? That alone should tell you that's not a good idea. The judgment that we make up about other people in our own mind. We don't even know if it's real. We make it up. But we do it so often. And we drive ourselves mad with that judgment. If we can stop that and slow it down and start analyzing and start understanding, wait a minute, that's totally made up. Then you can move forward. So may I present this challenge to you? Elevate. Elevate to that balanced mind. Elevate to that balanced mindset. Dig down. Dig down and do the work. Do the work. Find the root cause of what's going on with your thought processes. Understand your thought patterns. Understand where they're coming from. And have that clarity and focus of the direction you're going in and that you want to go in. That's why I say, claim who you believe you are. That's why I say, write down and claim and get clear about what you want to create. There's a little bit more to this, If you are out to create something good for your business, for your family, for yourself, for your community, don't leave the space. Don't leave the space in your mind if you're out to do something good for judgment to come in, for fear to come in, for people, for that self-doubt or that worry. Because you're out creating something good, something that you believe in. So if you've been holding back, I invite you to stop. To stop holding yourself back. Stop the self-doubts. Repurpose the fears. And leave it here. Leave it here in this moment. Victoria talked about it with accountability partners. Find your accountability partner on all aspects that can just help you, to hold you accountable so that you can leave self-doubt behind, leave self-sabotage behind, leave the limiting belief systems, leave the procrastination, leave those things that lead to the anxiety and prevent you from being all that you desire, all that you believe you are. Leave them behind. Claim this. Claim this as your breakthrough moment. Start today claiming and living 100% your true self. It's no accident you're here. Absolutely no accident you're here. Because again, when we surround people, when we surround ourselves with people who believe we are great, we elevate because we start doing more great things. We start doing more great work. We're here with purpose. We're here for purpose. There will be difficult moments, yes. Yes, there will be, unfortunately, difficult moments. There will be tragedies even, and there will be, undoubtedly just some events that happen that aren't that great. But don't let them take you down. Don't let them take you down. Keep the faith, believe in who you are, keep trying and doing, keep trying and doing. And as I said, when you fail, fail forward. Because remember this, the most difficult moments, and you've probably experienced this in your life, so remember it and use the power from this. The most difficult moments of our lives can bring the greatest change. They can bring new perspectives and insights because they drop us into this place of vulnerability, which if we stay open to it, if we stay open to the vulnerability, we can find that it allows us to connect bigger, to find more fulfillment, to find more love and more passion. Control that monkey mind. Control that monkey mind. Realize and be able to determine what thoughts are yours and what thoughts you're making up for others. Clear out the clutter in your mind. Work towards a new state of just this mindfulness. This mindfulness, this state of stop driving yourself mad with all these different conversations and made up thoughts and beliefs and all of this doubt. Just stop it. Cultivate and grow that strong belief you have in who you are. Take the time for growth. Take the time for your self-care. Take the time for yourself. So take this moment. Take this moment, take this experience, and just claim who you are. This is a hard question. This one that I'm going to ask you now, my last question for you. This is a hard question for us to ask sometimes because it's one that we do shy away from again. It's one that we worry about, well, if we answer it the wrong way, people are going to think we're arrogant or, ooh, that's a hard one to claim. But I want you to claim it. I want you to be 100% honest and truthful with yourself. You may have never done this. You may have done it maybe on the surface. What is it that you love about yourself? Yeah, I know. I told you, it's a big one. But it's one of the most important ones because it plays on everything else. That unconditional love that you can foster and grow and continue to cultivate and develop in your life and for yourself, that's your machine. Because love always does win. So what is it? What is it that you love about yourself? Just write down 2 or 3 simple things, a line or 2. What is it that you love about yourself? And then Gigi will come around to a brave person or 2 that wants to just claim their love. Just raise your hand up high and Gigi will come over to you. Because loving yourself and understanding the love for yourself, that's the final key. Love yourself each and every day unconditionally. will be bad days. Sure. There's going to be mistakes. Of course. But love yourself through it. Love yourself and create more amazing days. More days that are filled with success.
My cooking, my compassion for others, and the fact that as I grow, I get better and better and better.
Can I ask you just one favor, Linda?
Yeah.
Can you repeat in front of all of that? I love myself because, and just claim your love.
I love myself because I am an amazing cook. I love myself because I have ultimate compassion for others. And I love myself because as I grow, I get better and better and better.
And I love you too. Thank you, Linda. That's who you are. We all have these things. Grow and foster that love you have for yourself. Is there anyone else that would like to share before we just move on? Before David yells at me for going too long.
Hi. Okay, I love myself because I embrace my authenticity.
I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Love yourself because you embrace your authenticity. Embrace who you are. Let me close this afternoon with just a few final thoughts. Every fire begins with a spark. Every breakthrough starts with a desire. The amount of good feelings and experiences and love in this life, absolutely endless. Absolutely endless. There is no cap. There's no cap to the love that you can feel, to the experiences that you can create, to the good feelings that you can have. They're endless. It's all in having a zest for life. Being grounded in a strong belief of who you are and what you are capable of. So don't get caught up in the irrelevant stuff. Don't get caught up on judgments from others. Remind yourself how grand this life is, how remarkable you are, and how you are the creator of your experiences. Remind yourself it's your choice of how you take in each and every experience. Remind yourself it's your choice, the mood that you are in. It's your choice how you take everything in. You have remarkable gifts, talents, and skills. So don't hold back. Don't doubt your gut feelings. Grow from each experience and each encounter. You are here for a reason and with purpose. Believe in yourself and believe that you can break through any barrier in your way. You can break through it. You can go around it. You can jump over it. You can climb under it. You can figure out a way around it. If you want to get around it, you can. Where there is a will, there is a way. So stop limiting belief patterns. Stop things that are holding you back. Stand up. Speak out. Be seen. Do good and live. Live and create your best life. Be in your dream life now because you can. So thank you. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you for your presence here with all of us. Thank you for being on this journey to believe in yourself. Thank you for being part of our collective experience. And thank you for the great things I know you will do this year and in your lifetime. Thank you because those great things, no matter how big or small, all flow in to make a difference. They all flow in to make a difference. I believe in each and every one of you, and I thank you. You have the power, you have the control, and you have the heart. And the heart is the best thing, because the heart to love and believe in yourself so much and let it shine so bright, that it's contagious, and it's a good kind of contagious. So here it is. Here it is. My 3 final words to you. Believe in yourself. That's it. Thank you.